2020 town meeting. We all rise to the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, welcome. Friends, neighbors, Woodstock community family. Let me start by mentioning the elephant in the room, or one thing this year is not like the others, or the changing of the guard, or the new kid on the block. Whatever you want to call it, after 50 years, there's a change up here at the podium. And unfortunately, there's a new face, but that face is not necessarily an improvement. And to prove that, I'd like you all to go to page 1 of our town report. And again, Ken, I would like to thank you for all the years. This report is dedicated to you for all the years you put into this community as being my mentor. So if I mess up tonight, this is all on you. But I just want to hear one round of applause again for Ken. Also, as some of you may be here for your town meeting, this is something that goes back 32 years ago when I first came here. I came to one of these meetings and I was absolutely overwhelmed by grassroots democracy. But as a new person, I didn't know everybody that was here. So I thought tonight, to start things off, I'd introduce to you the people who have worked all day to put on this election and are here tonight to be able to answer any questions, to be able to go through any of the warrant articles that we have. So first of all, if I mention you, just wave and let people know who you are. But first of all, Judy Welch, Town Clerk, Administrator, she's the rock. Joe Reardon, Select Board Chair. Scott Rice, Selectman. Gil Rand, Selectman. Laura Spector Morgan, Town Council. My friend Faith Desjardins, she came to vote today, but I'll tell you, she's a trooper. But Faith is one of our supervisors of the checklist. Lee Freeman, supervisor of the checklist. Catherine Cordero. Catherine Cordero, supervisor of the checklist. Barbara Avery, assistant supervisor of the checklist. Maureen Palomino, ballot clerk. Kim Pickering, ballot clerk. Cheryl Barassa, ballot clerk. Peggy Rice, ballot clerk. Connie Cheesebro, ballot clerk. Jerry Hoover, ballot clerk. And Ken Chapman, this year's assistant moderator. And I'm Jay Palomino, your moderator. Let's get started here. And before we begin voting on the 2026 warrant articles, I'd like to review the Woodstock Town Meeting Rules of Order. And I've also left a few copies back at the desk, should anyone want to have a hard copy themselves to read through this. Meeting Rules of Order. Please silence all cell phones. Each participant will treat every other participant with respect and courtesy. The moderator will not allow personal attacks or inappropriate language. When speaking, address the audience through the moderator, not directly to other attendees, so everybody can hear. Speakers must stand and identify themselves when recognized by the moderator. Each time they speak, please. It makes it easier for me as a moderator to identify the speaker, but also for Judy, who's taking notes. So it may seem a little redundant if I do ask you again, just to please mention your name, but if you do that, it'll make it easier for all of us. Only registered voters may speak and vote. Registered voters do have their cards, correct? Does everybody have a card that's here? Okay, awesome. Anyone who is not a registered voter and wishes to address an issue may do so only with the permission of the moderator. Non-registered voters are not permitted to vote. The moderator will determine the time for each speaker to an article. Generally 3 to 5 minutes, but again, it will depend on what somebody has to say. All new speakers who desire to speak will be given a chance to do so before a previous speaker is given a second opportunity on the same issue. Each article needs a motion and a second to discuss it. Only one amendment to a motion will be allowed on the floor at a time. No amendment to an amendment will be allowed. Such a proposal will be dealt with the subsequent amendments after the first amendment has been voted upon. All amendments will be submitted in writing to the moderator. The subject of the original article must be addressed in the amendment, and it cannot be a negative amendment. Voter cards will be distributed to registered voters to identify votes cast, which they have. Motions for reconsideration must be made immediately after the vote is announced on the article. The moderator's rules can be challenged and or overruled by a majority vote of the voters. And state statutes do govern legal procedures not listed here. If I missed that, that's why our attorney is here to keep me on the straight and narrow. So to get started, article, sorry, thank you. Motion to accept no, we're going into the election first, right?
No, you're gonna accept the moderator rules. Move to accept the moderator rule in second.
Okay, if we were to do, all right, well, we'll do that then. Do I hear a motion to accept the moderator rules? Name?
Sherry Hoover.
Sherry Hoover, and a second? Lee Freeman. All those in favor? All opposed? Okay. Unanimously approved. Article 1, to choose town officers. To choose all necessary town officers for the year ensuing. 1 select person, 1 moderator, 1 supervisor of the checklist, 1 fire chief, 1 library trustee, 1 trustee of the trust funds, 1 cemetery trustee, 2 budget committee, 2 planning board, 2 floodplain board of adjustments. The voting took place this afternoon from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. The results are as follows. Selectmen, vote for 1, Gil Rand, 157 votes. Moderator, vote for 1, Jay Palomino, 172 votes. Supervisor of the checklist, vote for 1, Catherine Cordero, 161 votes. Fire chief, vote for 1, Matthew Cole, 168 votes. Library trustee, Paula Hood, vote for 1, Paula Hood, 170 votes. Trustee of trust funds, vote for 1, Tara Sellingham, 168 votes. Cemetery trustee, Stephen Welch, 167 votes. Budget committee, vote for 2, Kyle Bergenheim, 92 votes. Susan Murphy, 69 votes. Roberta Vigno, 137 votes. Planning board, vote for 2, Stanley Freeman, 147 votes. Bonnie Ham, 112 votes. Floodplain board of adjustment, vote for 1. We had nobody over 1 vote. There were no contestants, so these were all write-in ballots. Do I hear a motion to accept town officers?
Jim Cheeseborough.
Oh, you have another page. I apologize. Floodplain board of adjustments. Everything's been on 1 page today. Sorry about that. Aren't you happy, Jim? I didn't forget you. Floodplain board of adjustments. Vote for 1, James Cheeseborough, 166 votes. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 1, choosing town officers?
Question,
Yes, sir.
wait, there was one contest that you did not declare who actually wanted to vote for 3 candidates running for a position, 2 positions.
Butch Finney. I'm sorry, I announced the totals, but not who won. So the winners, the 2 would be Roberta Vigno and Kyle Bergevine.
I make a motion to accept the road.
Ken makes a motion to accept. Second. And your name, sir?
Igor Billy.
Igor Billy. Thank you. Sorry, I just want to make sure we can all do names, so I'll remember who soon. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Article 2. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $1 million for the replacement of lead pipes in the drinking water system as mandated by the federal lead and copper rule improvements, and to authorize the withdrawal of $50,000 from the Water Department Capital Reserve account created for that purpose. Further, to authorize the select board to borrow not more than $950,000 from the lead service line SRF program in accordance with the provisions of the Municipal Finance Act, and to authorize the select board to apply for, accept, and expend any grants, including loan forgiveness available for this purpose, and further to authorize the select board to take any other action or to pass any other vote relative thereto. The loan covers service line identification, non-construction work like potholing, staff time, hiring consultant, and replacement of lead GRR service lines. This is a low interest loan with approximately 70% principal forgiveness. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. There is a 3/5 ballot vote required. We will open the polls. They'll remain open for 1 hour. We have two clerks here who come by, give them your name, try to line up in alphabetical order as best you can, saying, hi, what's your last name? What's my last name? To try to be able to have this flow through as quickly as possible. Do I have a motion to accept Article 2? So moved.
Jerry, Mr. Guido,
Jerry,
make the motion to accept.
and do I hear a second? Yes, sir. Mike Welch, second. Any discussion? Yes,
David Bowden, and I'm just wondering, last year we did the same thing for $1 million, and I'm wondering how much of that has been spent and where are we standing with it right now?
Right now, well, we've got a 10-year period or so to make these improvements. This grant program is ending this year. We have not spent any money from last year. And we also have a grant for $30,000 to help us identify just where we need to go and how we need to spend money like this. So that's just got approved by Governor's Council last week. So that's going to start up any time now. The hope is we will not spend anywhere close to $2 million on this. But the last opportunity to get this type of loan is now, because the program is ending. I certainly hope we don't spend anywhere close to that. But we felt it was foolish not to get the approval and have the ability to borrow if we absolutely needed to. Because it's 70% forgiveness on any money that we do borrow. So that's why we want to do this, just to make sure we have enough money that we don't want to spend to cover the cost of doing what we need to do. And we don't really know how much that's going to be until this assessment gets done in the next few months. So I don't think we'll even, I hope we don't lose it, but I don't know. But this way we're covered, and at least 70% of the money that we spend will be forgiven as we go along. It'll just be covered by the water users, not the general populations.
okay. Anybody else have anything that they would like to say on this article? Okay, then let's begin voting. So please, if you can come forward, Judy, would you please mark as of now 1 hour? So we make sure we're on schedule. And there's a box right here. As you come around and vote, just put it right into the ballot box. Get up here.
Oh, gonna come this way, Dan?
What's your money? Go ahead. Go before me, that's fine. We're all going to the same place. Go ahead, step right up.
You guys all look nice and big. Yeah, we had to.
Come back in the line.
I tell you, I have my days.
How's it going? I'm better at your money. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta write it up.
This one. Thank
I'm very excited.
Wait. Mary, go. Sure. She was handing these out back.
That's what you two. Now let's.
Yeah.
That's right.
I just made go, I did the same thing to her, I was like. So something came something, I was like, oh, it's like right? I'd be rule followers.
Oh, so.
I just wanna make sure you get by.
I will be good. All right. I'm gonna wait till everybody goes. That's good, Scott. You got it? Yeah. Oh, I gotta wait for everybody. I know. When you make it move, I'm not upset. You guys are so slow getting up here. I don't. How you been? I'll take another window. I remember you guys when you put in your program, and you are buying some tanks, right? Yeah. Ryan, Jim, with, gas. In ground. Probably let it down, so not, it's not on the side. Out of, the, we're out of time right now. Well, mountains, yeah. What mountains? Oh, you want to phone? Yeah. I bought mine, they were only, yeah, $2 for both. I mean, that was a great week. And then I went by the Milton house, I was on them too. And that time, they were like $500. Yeah. You don't know what it's like though. Yeah. Plus, when you own your own tanks, you can walk, you can shop around for fun. They make big rivers, they wanna keep me as a client, cause I'm good for 4,000 gallons a year. I get a good price. Oh, yeah. It's the right crowd. Go ahead. You're gonna make the move. See you later. See you later. Yeah, friends still have a certificate. I guess that's it. Okay. Okay, thank you, everybody, everyone that wanted a chance to vote. Hopefully you voted, but the polls will still remain open for another 45 minutes or so. Once they're closed, we will tabulate and then we'll report back what that vote is. We are now on to Article 3. Operating budget. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the Budget Committee recommended sum of $5,822,848 for the operating budget. This amount does not include any articles voted separately,
The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept?
To accept.
Yes, sir.
Steve Freeman.
Lee Freeman. Do I see a second? Second,
Selling.
Mark Sellingham. Any discussion?
Last year we,
Dave Bowden?
Dave Bowen, yeah. Thank you, Pat.
Yeah. It's only so I can remember.
Last year we appropriated just a little bit less than this for our operating budget, and we turned back 22.5%. Is there any explanation of why we need this much more money if we're paying? Do you have any anticipation of taking that 22.5% and relieving some of the tax burden?
Thanks, Dave. So yeah, we did return 22.5%. About 50,000 of that was in the executive budget. At one point, we had an employee that was interested in retiring, and so we had budgeted to bring on somebody while that individual was still here, so that they could learn the job. As we got into the season or into the year, the individual decided that they were going to postpone retirement until this coming year. So that 50,000 was a savings. We didn't hire somebody to learn underneath them. That'll roll into this year as we hire somebody down the road here to learn from them. Some of the others was finance admin. We had 30,000 in there. We're working, that was a $30,000 line item for a SDR program to start to monitor and bring it in, and what is it, for registrations of SDRs and all of that. We didn't end up spending that last year because we decided to pause that and work on a short-term rentals ordinance first, and then move forward with the program to be the admin basically for us. Personnel and administration, we had about $240,000 in savings there. That is because when we hire individuals or the individuals that we have, we carry as a family plan. While they may not have a family today, they may have a family 9 months from today. And so we have to budget for that because we cannot go over our budget. So we budget for a family plan. When we don't spend it, it obviously gets returned to the general fund. Public safety and the police line, we're returning 125,000 there. A lot of that had to do with the payroll and the changes in the police department over this past year, plus special duty. We have to put a line item in there for special duty. We don't always have special duties, but that is a reimbursed item as well. Highway department, we're returning 35,000. That was because last year was a little bit more of a mild winter. Plus, with the mild winter, we didn't have expenses for salt and all that, but we do have to budget in any given year that there may be overtime, or if we have the school as well. Parks and Rec, 24,000, and that was equipment that's actually being reappropriated this year for the equipment down at the playground. The rec center, that is the recreation department budget that we share with Lincoln. There were some payroll savings there this past year, and there were some other line items that were savings there. That was about 45,000. Capital outlay was 450,000. If you recall, last year we came to you asking for 100,000 or 200,000 for EV chargers down in the municipal lot, and that was contingent on the fact that we got a grant for those EV chargers. We had told you in that meeting that if we didn't get the grant, we weren't going to move forward with the EV chargers. So that savings is there. Also, the fire truck bond, we haven't had to initiate that yet, and so you'll probably see that in this coming year, or when the truck arrives, we'll have that bond. Sewer and water, that goes back to the sewer fund, so it doesn't go back to the general fund. We had some savings on the new pump station, and also the CTV main grant we didn't use it this year. It's actually being used in 2026. That was 145,000. Water, we had about 80,000, and that was just a little bit of savings from each operation line. And that, so overall, that's where all of that is. We've worked really hard. The prior select board and the select board works really hard with the departments to say, come forward with what you think you need, but don't feel there's a need to have to spend it because you won't get it again next year. And so that's why we've been able to take and apply these type of savings to the general fund to all then apply to our tax rate for the following year. And I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, we did 800,000 this year that we were able to apply.
This year or last year. It was
800 last year and 650 this year.
500 this year, hold on.
Yeah. So we have been able, every time we do have that savings, it goes back into the general fund and we do apply it to offset your taxes for the upcoming year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks,
Name, please.
Jerry Stringham.
Thank you.
There was, somebody made a very nice post, obviously, I looked at this very hard, I don't know who it was. But one of the things they said that I would hope you comment on, and that is that the auditor's reports indicate that the financial statements do not present fairly the financial position of the town of Woodstock. And they talk about not recording long-term costs. I was wondering if you have due to healthcare, I wonder if you have, since somebody did bring it up, if you have anything that can shed some light on it, how much liability is in there and something that would continue.
Yep.
Thanks.
Happy to. So that explanation of the adverse opinion and hidden liabilities, I think is what you're talking about on page 133. So the auditor's report on 133 includes an adverse opinion related to the town's compliance with the Government Accounting Standards Board Statement number 75. I'm going to use GASB as we go forward. This accounting standard requires municipalities to report the long-term liability associated with other post-employee benefits, primarily retiree health insurance benefits. This paragraph has appeared in the town audit for probably the last 10 years. The reason for this adverse opinion is that the town has not completed the actuarial valuation required under the GASB 75 to calculate long-term liability associated with these benefits. Both the previous select board before us and us have met with the auditing team to review and discuss this matter in detail. In order to remove this paragraph from the audit, the town would need to hire an actuary to perform the required valuation. The estimated cost for this work is approximately around $15,000. And the primary result of that $15,000 would just be the removal of that paragraph. It is important that the town of Woodstock has a very small number of employees who actually receive benefits and offers only one retirement plan. And we don't allow employees to retain their health insurance benefits upon retirement. Currently, we only have one retiree who receives these benefits, and they retired prior to any policy changes. So additionally, these benefits are paid through the New Hampshire retirement system, not directly by the town. And the New Hampshire retirement system administers the benefit payments and maintains its own actuary analysis of these obligations. So it's been decided in past meeting or past audits that the select board determined that spending that $15,000 to obtain the actuary evaluations to remove that paragraph from the audit wasn't necessarily the best use of taxpayer funds. So in essence, you get to see that paragraph every year in the audit. We do have, the audit is available for anybody that would either like to look at it later tonight or at any time want to go in and see Judy. She will certainly give it to you to look at and review further. Does that work? Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Anything else?
Okay, hearing none. Article 3, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the budget committee recommended sum of $5,822,848 for the operating budget. This amount does not include any articles voted separately. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. We've had a motion, we've had a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, unanimous affirmative vote.
Mr. Moderator,
Yes,
Jim Cheesebro,
yes,
I'd like to make the motion to restrict reconsideration on Article 3.
thank you. Do I hear a second? All right, Lee Freeman, second, okay. All those in favor? Any discussion? Any discussion first? All those in favor? Any opposed? Again, Affirmative. Unanimous vote. Thank you. Article 4. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $250,000 to be placed in the existing Water Department Capital Reserve Fund by authorizing the withdrawal of $250,000 from the Water Department Restricted Fund balance as of December 31st, 2025. The Select Board and the Budget Committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept this article? Jerry Miserandino. Do I hear a second? Margaret Labarge. Do we have any conversation? Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of Article 4 signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Article 4, affirmative, unanimous vote. Article 5. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 to be placed in the existing Community Center Capital Reserve Fund previously established. The Select Board and the Budget Committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 5? Kim Pickering? A second? Sherry Hoover? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Affirmative, unanimous vote. Yes.
Mr. Moderator.
Yes, sir. Your name, sir?
Again, I'd like to make a motion to restrict reconsideration on Articles 4 and 5, please.
Do I hear a second? Scott Holt. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Cheeseborough. Article 6. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $30,000 to be placed in the existing revaluation capital reserve fund previously established under the provision of RSA 35-1 to meet our constitutional and statutory requirement that assessments are full and true, which revaluation must occur at least as often as every 5th year. The Select Board and the Budget Committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 6? Jackie Wilson. Second, Sharon Holt. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor of Article 6, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous affirmative decision, Article 6. Article 7. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $75,000 to be placed in the existing paving capital reserve fund previously established. The Select Board and the Budget Committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 7? Kip Pickering, and a second? Cheryl Barassa. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of Article 7, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Article 7, affirmative, unanimous decision.
Mr. Moderator. Once again, Jim Cheeseborough, motion to restrict reconsideration on Article 6 and 7.
Article 6 and 7. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Steve Welch. Any conversation, discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed. Reconsideration for Articles 6 and 7, affirmative unanimous decision. Article 8. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $33,491, which is the anticipated grant amount this year, to be placed in the existing Highway Block Grant Capital Reserve Fund, previously established under the provision of RSA 35-1 for the purpose of any maintenance, repair, and or improvements to class 5 roads in town. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 8? Jerry Stringer, do I hear a second?
Marcella Schamberger.
Marcella Schamberger? Any discussion? Yes? Could you stand up? I'm sorry, Marty. Why is there an increase?
That's money that the state gives us to spend. So that's, they divvy it up, among different towns according to how many miles of class 5 roads we have. And that's what the money they decided to give us this year. That's all.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of Article 8, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Article 8. Affirmative unanimous acceptance. Article 9. To see if the town will vote to change the name and purpose of the existing Town Building Maintenance Capital Reserve Fund to the Town Buildings Capital Reserve Fund. And to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $45,000 to be placed in the existing Town Building Maintenance Capital Reserve Fund previously established further to name the select board as agents to expend from the fund. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 9? Marty Talbot. Do I hear a second? Sherry Hoover. Discussion. This is a 2/3 vote, so we will have Cheryl and Maureen each take. Nope, we have Kim and.
Peggy.
Oh, yeah, that's right, 'cause you're not counting ballots, so that would be good. We're not there yet. So a 2/3 vote is required, but is there any discussion? Okay. So if you please keep them up, and please hold your cards up, just so that again, we know.
Yes.
Yep. So those who are in favor of Article 9. So this is a yes vote, please signal by. Making this official, so we will kind of count it through.
We're just counting again.
Good. Joe, your side?
I'm gonna count again for you.
Sticker.
35.
We're good.
It's good at my work.
Your arms tied? All those opposed? Well, that was official. I guess we know that carried.
What would your count be?
66. In favor? None opposed? Article 9. Unanimous affirmative. Vote.
The moderator,
Yes,
remember who I am, yes?
Mr. Cheeseborough.
Motion to restrict reconsideration on Articles 8 and 9.
8 and 9. Do I have a second for reconsideration? Dakima Welch. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Unanimous. Keeping you up? Sorry. Unanimous affirmative. Thank you, Mr. Cheeseborough. Article 10. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $85,000 to be placed in the existing fire department equipment capital reserve fund previously established. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I see a motion to accept Article 10? Margaret Labarge, a second? Janet Adams. Any discussion? Yes,
What's the price on this one too? Difference?
sorry, Marty,
Explain the difference in what last year's and this year's,
he's asking for the difference between this year's and last year's.
what's it going to?
Where's it going, what's it going to?
Simply put, radios. The radios they have in their equipment now is from 2001. Pretty soon you start running out of parts for them and so forth, so, you're gonna see an increase this year and next year also. There'll be an increase to, put in all the radios and all our equipment, responder equipment for the fire department. Oh, the portables. And if you've been watching what's been going on for fires here lately in the two towns, communication's an absolute, you gotta have. So they gotta be dependent. So for the next 2 years, we'll be increasing the capital reserve to cover the cost of them.
Any other discussion? Okay, okay. So just because there was some discussion again, Article 10 was to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $85,000 to be placed in the existing fire department equipment capital reserve fund previously established. The select board, the budget committee recommend this appropriation. We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Article 10 carries, unanimous affirmative vote. Article 11, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $75,000 to be placed in the existing fire truck capital reserve fund previously established. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 11? Jim, you think I can read that, bro? James Young, awesome, thank you. Second, Kimberly Pickering. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on Article 11? Hearing none. All those in favor of Article 11, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Article 11 carries. Unanimous affirmative decision. Who are you?
Mr. Connie Cheesebro,
Yes, Mr. Cheeseburger.
motion to restrict reconsideration on Article 10 and 11, please.
Article 10 and 11. Do I have a second?
Margaret Labarge.
Margaret Labarge? Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of restricting Article 10 and 11 signify by saying aye. All those opposed? Carries. Restriction carries Article 10 and 11. Unanimous affirmative vote. Article 12, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $2,000 to be placed in the existing library computer equipment expendable trust fund previously established. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 10? Judy Boyle, and a second? We'll go with Margaret. We need some other people. All right, we'll get you. Thanks. More people to do this.
Gary, did you put your pick for a second?
I had Margaret. For that second, Margaret Labarge, yep. Any discussion on Article 12? Hearing none. All those in favor of Article 12, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Article 12 passes unanimous affirmative. Article 13, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $5,000 to be placed in the existing Main Street Revitalization Capital Reserve Fund previously established. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 13? Jerry, want this one? All right. Jerry Miserandino. Second? Mary Albrecht. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of accepting Article 13, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed? Article 13 carries unanimous affirmative.
Mr. Moderator, a motion to restrict reconsideration on Article 12 and 13. I'm sorry, yeah, 12 and 13.
Do I hear a second to restrict reconsideration, Article 12 and 13? In your name, ma'am? Kimberly Pickering. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Restrict Articles 12 and 13 for reconsideration. Unanimous affirmative. Article 14, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $10,000 to be placed in the existing solid waste facility improvement capital reserve fund previously established. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 14? So moved, ma'am, your name?
Connie Cheese.
Connie Cheeseborough. And a second. Back there. Elena Welch. Any discussion? Article 14. Hearing none. All those in favor of accepting Article 14, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Article 14 carries unanimous affirmative vote. Article 15, highway maintenance. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $95,000 to be placed in the existing highway maintenance capital reserve fund previously established. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 15? Jackie Wilson? Second? I see one back there.
Matt Cole.
Sorry?
Matt Cole.
Matt Cole. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of accepting Article 15, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed? Article 15, unanimous affirmative. Approval.
Moderator, motion to restrict reconsideration on Articles 14 and 15.
Do I hear a second to restrict reconsideration? Articles 14 and 15.
Margaret Labarge.
Margaret Labarge. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of restricting reconsideration of Articles 14 and 15, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion to redirect reconsideration, to restrict reconsideration, approved, unanimous affirmative. Article 16, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $75,000 to be placed in the existing highway heavy-duty equipment capital reserve fund previously established. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 16? Margaret?
Margaret Labarge.
Second? Kara Solingham? Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Yes, sir.
Taylor Bowden. I guess my main thing is. You guys had a backhoe, rubber tire backhoe. That was a 2011 with around 2,000 hours. And you got rid of that. And from what I gather, the town of Lincoln has it and it's now at the dump. Or the transfer station, sorry. Is there any reasoning why you got rid of this piece of equipment?
Sure, I think, it was scheduled to be replaced this year anyway. We had the money. It was actually scheduled to be replaced in 2025. We had some problems with it. We didn't know was it gonna be a big repair or a little repair. So I figured we just pull it and just get it this year as we were supposed to. I think the logic is it was probably could be fine, but the thing is, it's just like an ambulance or a police car. You want the ambulance to break down on the way to the hospital because you waited 1 extra year or 2 extra years to replace it. I think for us, it's a critical piece of equipment that does the roads, does all the snow plowing and everything else for the whole town. And we can't afford to have it out of service. And we had already planned as on the capital item to replace it. So we felt it was the time to do it. I think the fact that you took the used backhoe and are using it at the dump and playing around there is great. But it's not a critical piece of equipment for them, where it's a critical piece of equipment to our everyday, life here. So, and that's why, because we just didn't want to take a chance of a major breakdown as we go forward in the next year or two. It could have gone 2 more years, 5 more years, I don't know.
The only other thing that I would say, if I could.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a 2011 backhoe and you're replacing it in 2025 or 26, whichever year it was. I think, and this goes as, I'm not familiar with police cruisers or fire apparatus or ambulances, but I think that you should look long and hard at your schedule to replace things. I have prior to this year, my newest piece of equipment was a 2004. And they have 10,000 hours on it, and they're not getting any cheaper to replace.
Right.
So I'm not saying just go out and replace everything because it's not gonna get any cheaper, but you should be able to get, I feel. You should take some serious consideration on looking into everything on your schedule, because how long has this replacement schedule been in place? Do you know, like, has this just been forever, every
Yes.
15 years or whatever you will? I think the more things cost, the more you should look very hard at the longevity that you can, with maintenance, with cleaning, with whatever I mean, you don't go trade your car probably when it just comes a certain year, so you should, as a whole, everybody, not one department, not singling anything out, just as a whole, I think it should be really looked at on extending your terms of purchasing any type of equipment or vehicles.
I think that's a fair observation. It's something we can do, for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I would just like to add to that,
Dave Bowden?
Dave Bowden on that it's 15 years old, what was 15 years old and had less than 2,000 hours on it. That's about 120 hours a year. So that doesn't mean that they're out taking care of all the roads and doing this and doing that. It comes out, if you would do the math and figure it out per week, it's even less than that. And I was at the selectmen's meeting when they brought this up and said that I had heard that for $250, it could have been replaced or repaired. And it didn't need a whole new transmission. And I was told that the Caterpillar came and looked at it or whatever, but I don't know if there's any report on that to say just what the problem was. And it seems pretty odd that they got $20,000 for it. The town paid $20,000 for it and then put it down for the dump transfer station. And now Woodstock's gonna have to pay some of that cost because they replaced a piece of equipment down there. That was a 1995, and the backhoe that's down there now, they put 150 hours on it in the first week that they had it, which was more than the town puts on it in a whole year.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, as there was discussion, I'll read through Article 16 again. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $75,000 to be placed in the existing highway heavy-duty equipment capital reserve fund previously established. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. We have had a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay. Article 16 passes with some negative, with one vote negative. Article 17. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $100,000 to be placed in the existing sewer department capital reserve fund previously established, with said funds to come from sewer user fees. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 17? Steve Welch. Do I hear a second? Doreen Duchette. Any discussion on Article 17? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting Article 17, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. Article 17, unanimous affirmative.
Mr. Moderator, a motion to restrict reconsideration on Articles 16 and 17.
Thank you. Do I have a second on restricting reconsideration for Articles 16, 17? Sherry Hoover. Any discussion? All those in favor of restricting reconsideration on Articles 16, 15, 16, 17? Please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Reconsideration, unanimous affirmative. Article 18. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $170,000 to be placed in the existing water department capital reserve fund previously established, with said funds to come from water user fees. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 18? Scott Holt. And do I hear a second? Margaret Labarge. Been moved and seconded. Do we have any discussion on Article 18?
Yes, this comment that.
Yes, sir, James.
Oh, James Young,
James Young, thank you.
I think.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can be. Previously, talked about replacing the lead line fees, water fees for the houses, but it did not have that sentence in there by it was gonna be paid for by the users. This one does. Could you explain why one is being paid by the users and one is not?
Okay, do you hear that?
I don't understand. I think what was paid not by the users.
The lead line.
Yeah, It is gonna be paid by the users.
Say,
He said last year it wasn't.
Okay, because
It says.
well, that's certainly the intent, it's gonna be paid for by the users, if we use it, we use it. I don't wanna use it, but I don't want to use it.
Okay. Any other discussion? As there was discussion on Article 18, I'll reread it to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $170,000 to be placed in the existing water department capital reserve fund previously established, with said funds to come from water user fees. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. This article has been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Article 18, unanimous affirmative, yes. Article 19. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $10,000 to be placed in the existing record preservation capital reserve fund previously established. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 19?
Margaret Labarge.
Which one is it? Aaron Holt?
Journal. Any discussion on Article 19? Hearing none. All those in favor of accepting Article 19, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Article 19. Unanimous affirmative vote.
Mr. Moderator, motion to restrict reconsideration on Article 18 and 19.
Are you still James Cheeseborough?
I was when I got up this morning.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Do I hear a second for restricting reconsideration, Article 18 and 19?
I'll second it.
Jerry Miserandino? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. Restrict reconsideration for Article 18 and 19 passes unanimous affirmative. Article 20. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $28,000 to be placed in the existing police department equipment capital reserve fund previously established. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 20? Jerry Stringham? Do I hear a second? Kim Pickering? Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on Article 20? Hearing none. All those in favor of accepting Article 20, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Article 20 passes unanimous affirmative. Article 21, cemetery maintenance. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $5,000 to be placed in the existing cemetery maintenance capital reserve fund previously established. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 21? How about someone new get in the book? Yes, Fred, Nancy? Nancy, Kev? Nancy Ingles, no, Captain Nancy Ingles, motion and second. I'm sorry, I can't see. Josie Anderson. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of accepting Article 21, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay.
Mr. Moderator.
One moment, please. If I forget to put affirmative and tell them everything was affirmative, I'll forget it. So affirmative, unanimous acceptance. Yes, sir.
Just trying to move it along.
Understood.
A motion to restrict consideration on 20 and Articles 20 and 21.
20 and 21, restrict reconsideration. A motion, do I hear a second? Sherry Hoover, second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of restricting reconsideration of Articles 20 and 21, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Unanimous affirmative acceptance. Article 22, emergency management. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $2,000 to be placed in the existing emergency management capital reserve fund previously established. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 22? Who wants to get in the vote? Yes.
Marcellus Schamberger.
Marcella Schamberg. And a second?
Ken Chapman.
Ken Chapman. Any discussion on Article 22? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting Article 22, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Article 22, accepted, unanimous affirmative vote. Article 23, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $2,000 to be placed in the existing computer software capital reserve fund previously established. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 23? Yes. You? First name, I'm sorry, didn't get. Kara Plant. And a second? Jackie Champney. Any discussion on Article 23? Hearing none. All those in favor of accepting Article 23, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Article 23 passes unanimous affirmative decision.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Motion to restrict reconsideration of Article 22 and 23, please.
We have a motion to restrict reconsideration for Articles 22 and 23. Do we have a second? Yes, Barbara Avery. Motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
That's your.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor of restricting reconsideration for Articles 22 and 23 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Article 20. I'm sorry. Reconsider, was that the reconsideration? I got way late, sorry. Article for restricting reconsideration, Article 22 and 23 passes unanimously, affirmative. If I could, just 1 second, if I could have Peggy and Kim, if we could, at least the hour has passed. Anybody, this is the end. Everyone has voted. This is on Article 2. Polls have been closed as of 8:15. Do you have the key? Yes, you guys are all set. While they're counting, we will move on. Article 24. To see if the town will vote to establish a vehicle maintenance capital reserve fund under the provisions of RSA 35-1 for the purpose of funding major vehicle repairs of future vehicle replacement costs, and to raise and appropriate the sum of $10,000 to be placed in said fund. Further, to name the select board as agents to expend from the fund. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 24? Matt Cole. Do I see a second? Mike Welch. Any discussion? Article 24. Yes, sir.
To establish a new fund. What's the?
James. Just want to make sure, just confirm name, sorry. Thank you. James Young. I'll help. Thanks.
This is a new fund.
Yes.
And what is it, what is the new fund?
So, yeah, I'll speak to that. The new fund is for vehicle maintenance that's not necessarily covered under an operational thing that you're not necessarily expecting. So we were fortunate last year, we had a cruiser's transmission that blew up. Thankfully, it was a warranty issue. What had it not been, it would have been a vehicle cost that we had not necessarily budgeted for in the operations budget. So this capital reserve would help fund those type of things. If a fire truck responding to a call and the engine all of a sudden blew up and the truck caught on fire, we may not get the full replacement cost from the insurance. So this would offset that cost.
But you do have funds under fire and all these.
So the fire truck fund is to buy a new fire truck or a new used fire truck. This is for maintenance, not necessarily to purchase a vehicle.
We never needed it.
In essence, we've, in some sense, used some of the operations money, but this is just being cautious, I guess.
So this is being more earmarked than using
Yeah.
other funds to do
Right,
this.
than using operational funds and risking potentially going over.
Yes,
Just to that, like. And I'm not sure, but like fire department equipment, you spoke of that being radios for. Police department equipment, could you take money out of that to, it just says. Appropriate the sum, use the police department
Yeah.
equipment, $28,000 to be placed in the existing. Police department equipment capital reserve fund, you can't use that to
Sports vehicles,
fix a transmission or anything?
no,
Just towards like
Equipment,
radios.
radio,
Whatever. it is.
ammunition,
Fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
thank you.
any other discussion? Okay. As there was discussion, I'll reread Article 24 to see if the town will vote to establish a vehicle maintenance capital reserve fund under the provisions of RSA 35-1. For the purpose of funding major vehicle repairs or future vehicle replacement costs, and to raise and appropriate the sum of $10,000 to be placed in said fund. Further, to name the select board as agents to expend from the fund. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. We've had a motion and a second. A vote, please, to accept Article 24, signify by, vote yes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Vote no by saying not nay. Article 24 passes unanimous affirmative. Article 25. We're on the last page, folks. We're getting close. Shall the town modify the provisions of RSA 72-39, a for elderly exemption from property tax in the town of Woodstock based on assessed value for qualified taxpayers to be as follows. For a person 65 years of age up to 75 years, $60,000. For a person 75 years of age up to 80 years, $80,000. For a person 80 years of age or older, $100,000. To qualify, the person must have been a New Hampshire resident for at least 3 consecutive years, own the real estate individually or jointly, or if the real estate is owned by such person's spouse, they must have been married to each other for at least 5 consecutive years. In addition, the taxpayer must have a net income of not more than $35,000, or if married, a combined net income of less than $45,000. And own net assets not in excess of $75,000, excluding the value of the person's residence. The select board recommends this article. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 25?
Maureen, following you.
And a second? David Bowden. And do we have discussion on Article 25? Questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Jerry Stringham?
Yeah, a few questions. I assume this is our opportunities being made available because of recent changes in state law that allows greater limits. If you confirm that, that would be great. Secondly, do people in this town know how to take advantage of this? And is that relatively easy? And the third question is, if you're eligible for the veterans credits, are these separate or is it either or? Thanks.
That's a good question. So, yes, based on the changes in state law, that's why we're increasing it. Second question was if folks know that it's available, it is on our website for folks. Okay. We will make sure and double check that it's widely available. So, yeah. And it cannot be combined with veteran credits, right?
It can.
Oh, it can. Okay. I misspoke, right? My apologies. It can be combined. Yep.
We have the discussion. Yes.
You know, first of all, what's the intent?
Jim, yeah.
This to offset someone who can't afford to pay for it when they get older and don't have income.
Correct.
Okay. Now, my mother had the exact same situation back in Weymouth, Massachusetts, but with they had in-laws were such that they paid it. He sold when he died, the house. You repay whatever amount that you did not pay for 10 years or whatever it is. You paid it back to the town out of the funds you got from selling the property, which makes it more fair. Anyway, I don't think it's more fair or not, but that's the way it worked down there. And I was wondering if that would be considered.
There's a separate process in New Hampshire for deferrals of taxes. And if you get a deferral of your taxes, it needs to be paid back after you move, sell the property, or pass away. But this is different, it's a different statutory ability.
But it's the town taxes,
Yes,
but it's a state law.
yes,
So you go to the state and then the town doesn't get that money until the house is sold.
it's a deferral that you have to apply for, so the selectmen have to approve it.
Yeah.
But yes, you don't get the money until after the house is sold or the person passes away.
Well, I still would suggest that maybe the funds being replaced when the property is sold. or he died.
So would that be something that
Well, as she just explained.
we consider?
It's just a different thing, because it's different.
It's a different,
Not a deferral.
Law, but if you apply it in this particular case,
You can't make exemptions repayable.
huh?
You can't make an exemption, you can't make people have to pay back their exemptions.
Well, call it something else then.
well, which could be done, but at this point, what's in front of us is the exemption.
Yeah, I don't want.
But it may be something to bring up, Jim, at some other point,
It's
right?
an amount, a lot of money, over 10 years, 15 years, someone from 50 to 80, not paying this amount of money, and then get it free and clear, and then your heirs get the value of it. I
Okay.
don't think it's. I don't think it's fair.
They're not receiving, it's right,
Could, yeah, we can clarify it.
it's off the assessed value.
Well, one moment, excuse me, Sue Marcy, excuse me, just so that we can have Cheryl speak to that, if that's okay, please. So,
Yeah, so it's off the assessed value, so if your home is assessed at 500,000 and you qualify for the $60,000.
No, I understand.
Okay,
But it's like, if you had a $500,000 house, you got $100,000 off. That would be 4,000, about
400,000 times whatever the assessed value is, would be what that would be.
Yeah.
Right. That would be what the difference is. So, but as it's stated, it would not be paid back, I guess, Jim, in answer to what.
so $12.
Yeah, so the state law.
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Moderator,
$120.
Yes, Ken.
The way this is written, it sounds like it will apply to a very small
Jerry?
number of people
Jerry's,
because of the assets that people have when they apply. I mean, they cannot have any money in the bank, it sounds like. They cannot have an income.
Well, 75,000.
75,000,
That's what it says.
yeah. I mean, I shouldn't qualify for it myself, even though it sounds like something I'd really like to be eligible for. But
and you're not old enough to do Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, as we have had discussion, I will read Article 25. Shall the town modify the provisions of RSA 72-39, a for elderly exemption from property tax in the town of Woodstock based on assessed value for qualified taxpayers to be as follows. For a person 65 years of age up to 75 years, $60,000. For a person 75 years of age up to 80 years, $80,000. For a person 80 years of age or older, $100,000. To qualify, the person must have been a New Hampshire resident for at least 3 consecutive years, own the real estate individually or jointly, or if the real estate is owned by such person's spouse, they must have been married to each other for at least 5 consecutive years. In addition, the taxpayer must have a net income of not more than $35,000, or if married, a combined net income of less than $45,000, and own net assets not in excess of $75,000, excluding the value of the person's residence. The select board recommends this article. This article has been moved and seconded. All those in favor of accepting Article 25 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Article 25 passes. Majority aye, 1 vote nay.
Mr.
Article-
Moderator,
Yes, Mr. Cheeseborough.
might we entertain a motion to restrict reconsideration on Article 24 and 25?
We have a motion on the floor to restrict reconsideration for Articles 24 and 25. Do I have a second? Yes, Mr. What's in Chapman? Thank you.
I still remember.
Any any discussion? All those in favor of restricting reconsideration for Articles 24 and 25 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. restriction reconsideration for Article 24 and 25 passes unanimous affirmative. Article 26. To see if the town will vote to change the position of fire chief from an elected position to an appointed position in accordance with RSA 154-1 and further to authorize the select board to appoint the fire chief. If this warrant article passes, the current elected fire chief will continue to hold office until March 9th, 2027, at which point the fire chief will be appointed. The select board recommends this article. Do I hear a motion to accept Article 26?
Motion to accept.
Ken Chapman. Second? Mike Welch. Any discussion on Article 26?
Could we have an explanation? Why the change?
Dave Bowden requested an explanation for the change. Thank you.
Thank you. So historically, the fire department has had a really strong internal succession plan. And appointing a fire chief was never really a significant concern to the towns. However, with like the evolving nature of volunteer departments changing as far as volunteer availability, turnover of members that have to move in and out of the community, both the fire department and the board of selectmen believe establishing a formal appointment process is the best way to protect the town and our residents. The board of selectmen are not looking to basically have sole authority over appointing or making a decision without guidance or input from the Woodstock Fire Department officers. As we did this past fall, when we were placed in this position to appoint Chief Cole, we worked with the Woodstock Fire Department officers to bring forth a candidate to us to who should be appointed at that point in time, because there wasn't a way to do it as an election. So basically this appointment just reflects what would be the department's leadership input, the safety of the fire department members, because that position is responsible for the fire department members, and also the best interest of our community, so that we know we always have someone that is certified and is there for the production of that.
Okay, Tony Garbaggio. Anytime anybody appoints something, you're taking away my right to vote for that. So I just want it on the record, I'm not in favor of this. I want to vote for who gets positions, not somebody else appointed. That's what I want to say.
You could consider it very similar to a police chief. We do appoint a police chief, right?
I know,
We
but
do
I'm
a
not
fire
in favor of
department.
that. A lot of you folks were appointed. I want to vote for who's up there, not have you guys all appoint each other.
That's fine.
I
Okay,
just want to exercise my right to vote as a community member, not just say, all this stuff's being appointed on my behalf. That's just how I feel about that.
duly noted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Mr. Moderator,
Yes,
we voted for a new chief and has anybody met this guy? Matt Cole?
that's a good question. Has anyone met our new fire chief, Matt Cole?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you haven't, would you like to meet him now?
Would you like to say a few words?
I support this article. One of the challenges that the fire department faced with having a replacement for Chief McKay was that the selected person has to be a resident of the town of Woodstock, which limits the pool of applicants to fill the position. So this article would allow for casting a wider net and allowing different talents to be recruited into the position of fire chief. That's why I was.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I would just like to say that I agree with the gentlemen that you're taking away our right to vote for somebody. I'm not, nothing against the three selectmen, but we had I think the fire chief got 160 votes or something like that. I look at it as more people are gonna maybe have a better chance of voting for somebody, whether it's, I don't wanna say personal or anything like that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And as far as I know, for over 50 years, we've had 3 fire chiefs. And that speaks a lot for the people that are here working and committed to the place, so. I would be opposed to this.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else like to speak to this? Yes.
Ann Terleglia, quick question, given some quotes about how you guys pass a wider net for applicants. Should we be expecting a more competitive pay for this position as well? So will there be an increase in payroll for the years moving forward?
Did you hear that? Is a
Right.
question?
There's no, at this time, there's no, we're not looking to hire somebody full-time or make it a full-time position. It would stay as a volunteer position as it is.
Clear? Any other discussion? Okay, as there was discussion, I'll reread Article 26 to see if the town will vote to change the position of fire chief from an elected position to an appointed position in accordance with RSA 154(1), and further to authorize the select board to appoint the fire chief. If this warrant article passes, the current elected fire chief will continue to hold office until March 9th, 2027, at which point the fire chief will be appointed. The select board recommends this article. This article has been moved and seconded. All those in favor of accepting Article 26, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Article 26 has been accepted with opposition.
Mr. Moderator,
Yes, Mr. Cheeseburger.
I motion to restrict reconsideration on Article 26, please.
We have a motion on the floor to restrict reconsideration on Article 26. Do we have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor of restricting reconsideration of Article 26, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion to restrict reconsideration of Article 26 passes unanimous affirmative. Article 27. To transact any other business. Oh, what? I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna go back to our vote. Article 2, the results are in. See if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $1 million for the replacement of lead pipes in the drinking water system as mandated by the federal lead and copper rule improvements, and to authorize the withdrawal of $50,000 from the water department's capital reserve account created for that purpose. Further, to authorize the select board to borrow not more than $950,000 from the lead service line SRF program in accordance with the provisions of the Municipal Finance Act, RSA Chapter 33, and to authorize the select board for accept any and expend any grants, including loan forgiveness available for this purpose, and further to authorize the select board to take any other action or to pass any other vote relative thereto. I just have to point out that that was one sentence, just in case anybody wants to know that. The loan covers service line identification, non-construction work like potholing, staff time, hiring consultant, and replacement of lead GRR service lines. This is a low interest loan with approximately 70% principal forgiveness. The select board and the budget committee recommend this appropriation. This this article was moved and seconded, and vote result is 72 yes in favor, no 3 votes. That is more than the 3/5 ballot vote required. So Article 2 passes with some opposition. Lastly, Article 27, to transact any other business that may legally come before the meeting. Do I have a motion to accept this article? Yes. Sally Nickel, and second? Jack Champion. And any discussion? I believe, yes, recognized
When comes here.
Wendy Pelletier, and Wendy, you are not a voting a resident, but I do give you authorization to speak. You certainly may.
Hi, everyone. I'm Wendy Pelletier from the Moose Lock Public Library in Woodstock, New Hampshire. And tonight, we have the delight to honor Judy Boyle for her 50 years of service as. Sorry, I don't know if everybody can hear me or not. All right, so we are here to honor Judy Boyle for her 50 years of service as library trustee of the Moose Lock Public Library. When she first ran for the position in 1976, she was replacing Emily Rappold, who had served 39 years, but of course Judy has surpassed even that remarkable service. During Judy's During Judy's 5 decades of service, she has worked with more than 5 different librarians and 8 different fellow trustees. In 1992, she oversaw the library's major move from upstairs of the old fire department to our location where we are now on Lost River Road. We truly appreciate the years of dedication that Judy has given our life.
Get in here. Guys, coming over? You wanna snoop? Hold on a second. Oh,
Why don't you tell us?
you weren't. We're listening to you.
You'll have to shirt on.
And just show you stand.
Oh,
You're like, come back, we get it.
Library Association wants to. We're not recording.
Thank you very much.
Computers.
Thank you.
And by the way, I'm excited, this is my last. Bye. Section will be up next week.
Thank you, Judy. Yes, I recognize you, Joe Reed.
Moderator. So just a couple of things, congratulations.
Your attention, please. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming out tonight. Congratulations to all those that were elected today. Just a couple of notes, the select board extends its sincere appreciation to the retired fire chief, John McKay, for his 40+ years of dedicated service to the fire department and our community. Chief McKay's leadership, institutional knowledge, and unwavering commitment have left a lasting impact on our community and our residents, so thank you. Also lastly, town would like to recognize the life and service of Public Works employee Jim Boyle, who passed away at the end of last month after a quick but hard-fought battle with cancer. Jim was a valued member of our Public Works team, known for his strong work ethic, reliability, and willingness to lend a hand whenever it was needed. His hard work and commitment to the town were greatly appreciated, and his presence will be deeply missed by all of us at the town, especially his fellow coworkers who had the privilege of working alongside him each day. Our thoughts are with Jim and his, our thoughts and our hearts are with Jim's family and friends.
Thank you, Sheriff. Ken Chapman also had a tradition that is something that I think I'd like to continue by calling our attention to pages in our annual report, 186 through 188, representing the births and deaths and marriages in our community. I think it's something to take a moment to take a look at those pages, just to be able to think about the awesome people that have been here in the community, the awesome people that will be here in the community, and the awesome young folks that are now part of the community. Unfortunately, I think the deaths still outnumber the births. However, there are a lot of marriages, so hopefully we can turn that around at some point. So, but I like that, and I agree with Ken to take a moment to reflect on that a little bit. Also, just to remind everybody, school meeting again is on May 17th. March 17th. You don't want to wait 2 months for that. March 17th. So if everybody can please try to attend that, that would be greatly appreciated. Also a reminder that we have the state primary election on September 8th, followed by the general election on November 3rd. So anyone else have anything to say? Yes.
I'd like to thank our officers and our selectmen, the town clerk, Judy has never ever turned me away on an answer. Whether I liked it or not, it didn't matter. She never tried to hide any answers from me, and I think they do a wonderful job, and I appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Any other business? So we do have to have a vote. We had a motion and a second on any other business. So all those willing to accept Article 27 for any other business, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, nay? Unanimously approved Article 27. And the last piece of business, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I would like to do that.
Motion to adjourn, seconded by Jerry Hoover. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much for coming. Thanks.
Gotta run for your life.
Everybody was trying to start. So when do you back?
I go right into the selectmen. To ask them, right? Bring that up to the, you know, the version of the year. But, sorry.
Make sure.